7 things narcissists say to make you doubt yourself. If you have ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, you probably don't remember every argument. But I bet you remember the sentences. After 28 years of counseling, I've heard these 7 again and again. Here's what they mean and what you can say instead. If you finally say, "That really hurt me," the answer,
"You're too sensitive."
suddenly you're the problem. My response,
You don't have to understand my pain.
but you do have to respect that it's real. Because empathy begins where dismissal ends. You bring up something they did. They reply,
You're overreacting.
now you're defending your emotions instead of their behavior. I would answer,
Don't judge my reaction without acknowledging what caused it.
because accountability starts with the cause, not the reaction. Then comes the familiar one.
Everything is your fault. Again.
You're carrying all the blame. I would simply say,
I'll own what's mine. I won't carry what's yours.
because healthy relationships share responsibility. Manipulative ones redistribute it. After embarrassing you, they smile.
Relax, it was just a joke.
My answer is simple. Maybe it was funny to you. It wasn't funny to me. Because disrespect doesn't become harmless just because someone smiles afterward. Then comes,
I never said that.
now you're questioning your own memory. Try this.
You remember it differently. I remember it differently too.
Because different memories aren't the problem. Making someone distrust their own mind is. Then comes the comparison. Everyone else get along with me. You're the only problem. Don't defend yourself. Say,
I'm not talking about everyone else. I'm talking about us.
because comparison is often used to escape accountability. And finally,
Nobody else would ever love you.
my response would be,
I would rather be loved by no one than lied to by someone.
and here's what I hope you never forget. The worst loneliness isn't sleeping alone. It's waking up and no longer recognizing yourself. These weren't just hurtful sentences. They were designed to make you question yourself. 7 things narcissists say to isolate you. Isolation almost never begins with someone saying,
Stop seeing your family.
it begins with ordinary sentences, repeated often enough that one day you stop reaching out on your own. You're talking to your mom. The call ends. They say,
Your mom is always interfering in our relationship.
now every phone call feels like guilt. I would answer,
You don't get to make me choose between you and the people who love me.
because wanting less of the people who care about you isn't love, it's control. If a friend invites you out, before you reply, they say,
Your friends are filling your head with lies.
my response,
Nobody filled my head. I just started paying attention.
because isolation rarely feels forced. It usually feels reasonable. One evening, you tell someone what's been happening. They find out. Then they say, what happens in the house stays in the house. I would simply answer, some things stay private. My pain isn't one of them. Because secrecy protects the person causing harm far more often than the relationship. After another argument, they sigh. The kids are pulling away from me because of you. If they are pulling away, that's a relationship only you can repair. Because children notice parents long before they have words for them. The holidays are coming. You mention seeing your family. They reply, your family has never liked me anyway. Don't defend yourself. Say,
Whether they like you or not, I'm still allowed to see them.
because love isn't proven by isolation. Then comes the sentence that sounds responsible.
Nobody needs to know our business.
Try this instead.
I need someone to know. That's not betrayal. That's survival.
Because the first person manipulation silences is the one most likely to help you. And then, the quietest moment of all, nobody says anything. Your phone rings. You look at it and let it ring. Not because you don't care. Because explaining your life feels harder than living it. And that's when I want you to remember this. The most dangerous prison is the one that convinces you to lock the door yourself. Did you notice the pattern? Nobody took your family away. Nobody stole your friends. You slowly stop reaching for them. And once you are standing there alone, the next thing manipulation takes is your identity. 7 things narcissists say until you stop being yourself. The deepest damage doesn't happen the day they insult you. It happens the day their voice becomes your inner voice. Then I can count. Here are 7 sentences that slowly make people lose themselves. You share a dream.
I'm thinking about starting my own business.
They smile.
You'll never make it.
Doubt sounds convincing when it comes from someone you love. I would answer,
Maybe I'll fail, but it won't be because you talked me out of trying.
because fear often arrives disguised as advice.
Without me, you would be nothing.
Little by little, your confidence starts asking for permission. My response would be,
I existed before you. I'll exist after you too.
real support helps you stand taller. It never teaches you to stand smaller. Then comes the sentence that sounds like love.
No one else would ever love you.
Don't argue. Just say,
I would rather be loved by no one than lied to by someone.
because fear can keep a relationship alive long after love has disappeared. Months later, you're still changing, trying harder, giving more. Yet somehow it's never enough. I would simply answer,
I've changed enough to know I'm not the only one who needs to.
growth is mutual. Control is one sided. Then comes,
You're remembering it wrong.
you stop trusting your memory, then your judgment, then yourself. Try this.
You can question my memory. You don't get to rewrite it.
Manipulation isn't about changing the past, it's about making you doubt yourself today, another day. They quietly say,
You're not good enough.
those words echo until they sound like your own voice. My answer would be,
You can have your opinion of me. I don't have to adopt it.
someone else's opinion doesn't become your identity unless you let it. And finally, the hardest sentence, not one they said, one you whispered to yourself.
Maybe I'm the problem.